Welcome back to Sister Circle Live. Our next guest is an iconic actress with receipts nearly 4 decades long.
And this queen is truly from a different world, and she's adding more jewels to her crown in sci-fi's superstition. Take a look.
But she and her family have a long history of...
Which I'll remind you hasn't always been so smooth. She's dangerous, B.
Don't confuse power with danger.
Please welcome the one, the only, Jasmine Guy.
Yes!
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jesse.
Yes, honey. We are so proud to have you. And this is your seat right here on the purple pillow.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Let me see what you got. No, I'm just kidding.
Now, those are the interview
It's a trick. I'm going to throw them on.
How are you today? Beautiful.
I'm fabulous.
Oh, my God.
I'm so happy to be here.
You look amazing.
I'm a fan.
You look
you know
amazing.
what? We are so happy
I'd be sitting
to have
on the
you.
couch listening to y'all in the morning and chiming in.
Are we a part of your morning regimen?
Yes, you are a part of my morning. I watch TV One News and Roland Martin, and I watch y'all.
Love that, love that. Now this she's
Because y'all
legendary.
speak to me.
Pretty much. Well, we try to.
What do we say when
to-
we speak to you?
Here we go.
You talk about children. I have a child that just went to college this year. My parents are in their 80s. Thank God I still have them. But challenges that come with that. I am doing more than I've ever had to do in my life because I can't just make a living acting. And Lord knows I don't dance anymore. I mean, I dance
But
a little bit.
you have some
yeah,
rhythm still.
but
now.
not
Come
like
now.
I can't do Chicago. Let me put it that way. So I've had to develop in my 50s.
Yes.
Other skills. You know, I'm directing. I teach. I do a lot of speaking engagements. And then the show I was on 30 years ago is still alive.
Oh yes, we play it all the time on TV.
Yes, we do. Down to the TV One.
So we have become, we meaning the cast of A Different World, kind of ambassadors for HBCUs.
Yes.
And that's an interesting journey for me because I grew up across the street from Morehouse. My father taught there. My uncle was a musical director there for 30 years.
Right.
And we lived on Fair Street, across the street. So I never realized that HBCUs were a thing or a mystery. Like, I didn't know that so many people didn't even know they existed because Morehouse and Spelman and the AU Center was kind of my life.
That was your
you
stomping
know
ground.
that
Yes.
campus was where we learned how to ride bikes
Wow.
anyway so that I am still involved like that on the quad.
On the quad.
And speaking of the quad, which looks like it's going to be too good. But speaking of that, you have been in a fictional HBCU. You've been in fictional HBCU situations.
I graduated from 3.
Here we go.
3 fictional colleges.
Fictional colleges.
Mission, Hillman, and now I'm a professor at GAMU.
Yes. Now, why is it important for you to promote the HBCU experience?
Well, I think that if you look at the first season of A Different World versus the 2nd through 6th when Debbie Allen came on, the authenticity of the show changed. And what was the core of it, I think, was that an HBCU is family.
Yes.
They want you to succeed.
Absolutely.
Where you may be, one of, 10% black kid on a big university campus.
Big Ten, Ivy League.
Yeah,
That's where I
but these
went,
people
Ivy
want
League.
you to succeed.
Yeah.
And they're invested. It's kind of like when I left high school and I went to study at Alvin Ailey. People would pull me aside because you're still a baby, you're still growing, and you need to know I see you, and we're looking out for you, and we don't want you to fall. We want you to rise, and I
good.
think that's the biggest difference in going to an HBCU.
Yes,
And then,
yes, it is. Being a part of Spike Lee's School Days, yeah? In that movie, he talks about really breaking down a lot of stereotypes about the African American people, the race, and the culture. Do you think that we've made any progress since then?
Well, first of all, let me just say that was my first movie. I knew Spike. Actually, I used to dance at Morehouse's campus all the time for fashion shows and coronations or whatever. And they were like, call Reverend Guy's daughter, she'll come. So I didn't really, when he said he was going to be a filmmaker, and I said I was going to dance with Alvin Ailey, and our other friend John Wilson said I'm going to be the president of Morehouse one day.
Wow.
I didn't really realize that we were speaking it into existence,
Absolutely.
and we all did that. But when I did School Days, I didn't get the color thing. I thought, what is this? I don't know. I mean, I'm a yellow girl that used to pray to make me darker every day to God.
Wow.
I used to pray that my hair would be curly. I grew up in the 70s across the street from Morehouse. You know what I mean? And I never... I mean, this is like the lightest I would ever let myself get.
Wow.
I've done sunbeds, I've done spray painting. So when I got there, I just didn't get it. I was like, who thinks this way? So I didn't realize until the movie came out what a big deal it still was. I was like, this is not the era of the paper bag.
Yes,
Right.
that's interesting that you did to say that, because recently we talked about bullying and how it has led to some very severe cases, and people sometimes are actually killing themselves behind that. It's interesting that you look at the bully and say, listen, I'm not going to look to chastise this person. I'm going to look deeper to try to understand this individual.
I could understand
Where does that compassion come from?
I mean, one girl
bullied,
wanted to kick my butt. She had a silver tooth. She was chocolate and big. She was like, she looked like a woman in the 6th grade. I did not. I was like 4'10". You know, she was developing, and she probably just looked at me as everything that was getting in her way in life. And I understand it. And maybe that's why I can play, you know, bitches and bullies so well, because I've had to understand the other side. And you know, even though I'm not like that, or I hope I'm not like that, I do understand it. We also had foster babies growing up, so we were a foster family, and I don't want to cry, but...
But listen, this is what we're going to do, because I know that you had a phenomenal experience in the movie Harlem Nights, which is my favorite movie.
One of my favorites.
Yes.
Yes,
When we come back from break, I want to talk to you a little bit more about that.
As long as you don't shoot me in my pinky toe.
Not your pinky. Are you in charge of the girls?
We're definitely going to talk about
I
that.
am in charge of the girls. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Jasmine Guy, right here at the Circle.
Sorry.
Welcome back to Sister Circle Live. We are here with the fantabulous actress and director, Jasmine Guy. So before we went to break, we talked a little bit about my favorite movie and Selena's favorite movie, Harlem Nights. It had some heavy hitters in that movie, but number one was Della Reese. How was it working with her?
Well, you know, all my scenes were with Eddie Murphy. And I said, I can't believe I'm in a movie with Richard Pryor, Red Fox, Della Reese,
Girl, you were so
and I don't
sharp
get to
in
see
that
them.
movie, though. Girl, you were so
You
sharp in that
real
movie.
sexy, honey. You tried to kill the man in the movie, too, girl.
I tried with that little bitty gun. So one day I went to the set when I wasn't working, and Della Reese was literally in her trailer with Red Fox, and they were just in there talking and hooping it up. And I said, hey, can I just sit here? I sat on the steps just to hear them, just to be around them.
That had to be a
was
great
so
conversation.
awesome.
Now
Oh my God. Oh, no.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm just saying that had to be a great
No,
conversation.
I mean, that was so much knowledge.
Red
just
Fox
sitting there,
got a lot
just
of-
so- and,
he
and,
was a little
and speaking of
nasty,
which,
I
you
gotta
have
say.
done so many characters over the years. What drew you to the role in Superstition?
I love sci-fi, first of all. And this is a black sci-fi show. And when Mario Van Peebles presented it to me, he talked about the history and bringing another look at black life. And so Mario, as fine as he is.
He is. We have him down to the surface.
Child, he does not age.
No.
I heard that you created your own sister circle for 5 years. Tell us about who your sister circle is and why having a sister circle is important.
Yes.
Well, I have to say that it came out of need. You know, I'm talking to all my girlfriends, I think this was even before cell phones, but anyway. And
Y'all writing
I'm like,
letters?
I wish this one could talk to that one. Because I felt like I was a conduit, but it would be so much more powerful if this one could talk to that one.
Right.
So they were only related through me. They did not know each other. You know, my sister was there, one of her close friends. It was about 7 of us. And I thought, I asked a few of them, would you be willing to come in? And I had rules based on what I had learned in therapy and group therapy about cross-talking, anonymity, of course, confidentiality. And the third rule was, don't say anything unless it's going to be constructive. Because I did not want commiserating. I did not want us dogging men. I mean, we could do that without that. So, and then I had a little gong thing. I don't know what you call it, the little bowl that they have in the. I just used everything I could. I was like, the Buddhists use this, and, you know, and people brought food, and we did it once, and it lasted for 5 years.
Well, Jasmine, we are so excited that you came here to talk to us.
Yes.
And you can catch Jasmine's Superstition, which airs Thursday at 11 on Sci-Fi, and look out for the season 2 of Quad on January 23rd. The Quad.
The Quad. And as usual, all conversations continue at sistercircletv.com.